Ben Humrichous, year 2. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome one, welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. My name is Sonny Verma, your host here at Locked On Illini, where I continue to provide you coverage daily. That's right, every single day. I'm telling you guys right now, over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be more than 5 times a week. You're talking about 6, maybe 7 episodes. You might have more than one every single day. Why? Because there's so much content happening right now. Guys, the offseason is over. And so if you want to make sure you don't miss a thing, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And please hit the like on this video. Let me know you guys are watching. It really does help the channel grow. And again, it's my ultimate goal to hit 4,000 subs on YouTube at least by the time we kick off the season, which, guys, it's just in a couple weeks away. This calendar month, Illinois is going to be kicking off against Western Illinois August 29th, Friday night, and I can't wait. Before we talk about football, which we'll get to a little bit later, I want to switch back to basketball. Obviously, last week, members of the Illini basketball team met with media, and there were just so many interviews that, I'm just trying to focus on them one by one. And I figured, it's been a little while since I've done the player profile series. And so, let's talk about a guy that had an opportunity to talk last week, and that's Ben Humrichous. So that's the name that I'm going to dive into today. Obviously, we know the 6'9" forward is going to be coming back for his final season at Illinois. While year 1 surely had its bumps, year 2, I think, can be different. I think he's got the shooting, he's got the size, and now he's got system reps and a full offseason under his belt. In this episode, I'm going to break down his role, growth, expectations, and why I think Brad Underwood still believes in Ben can be a difference maker in next season's roster. So let's start with the headline. We know Ben is coming back. He got a medical waiver for an extra year of eligibility, and as soon as it was approved, he said that there was no hesitation. He said, "When I got the waiver approved for another year, I knew right away I wanted to run it back in Champaign," Humrichous told reporters. "The coaches, staff, and teammates are all incredible. It's just been a joy." And it's not just been about basketball. Ben talked a lot about embracing the cultural blend on this roster. Ben said, "Each of my years, I've been surrounded by different people and cultures, so it's a joy to learn both the game of basketball and see it through different lenses." He called the 25-26 group a really hardworking group that just loves the game, and made it clear he's embracing a leadership role as one of the veterans. So let's talk about year 1, and let's talk about it honestly. Year 1 in the Big Ten didn't go exactly as planned. Humrichous came over from Evansville after shooting 44% from 3. And while he still led Illinois in made threes with, I believe, those 62 triples, his overall clip dropped to just 34.3%. He averaged 7.6 rebounds, 7.6 points, 3.8 rebounds. He started 26 games and had 10 double-digit scoring outings, including a season-high 21 against Penn State. But most of his production came as a catch-and-shoot guy. Over 80% of his shots came from deep. There were flashes of post-up game and patented fadeaway jumper, but they were rare. He was mostly used to stretch the floor, not attack inside. Obviously, when we got him, there was rumors that maybe he could kind of take over the Marcus Damask role, but we saw progressively through the season that that's just not his game. And he basically started focusing on that three-point shooting and kind of stretching that offense and making sure that the defense had to respect the three-point shot. And so that's what the game ultimately transitioned to. So let's just address the elephant in the room, and that's the criticism. Some fans and analysts labeled him a letdown, inconsistent shooting, and certainly major defensive struggles. And there's truth in it. He was picked on defensively. Opposing teams attacked him in space, and Illinois had to scheme around that. But here's what's important. This is the classic up transfer trajectory. Guys like Terrence Shannon Jr. struggled in his first year too, and then he leveled up with more time in the Brad Underwood system. The tools for Ben are still there. If Ben shoots closer to his career average, he could absolutely flirt with 40% from deep, which would be a huge weapon off the bench. Brad had this to say: I believe he'll improve with another year in our system. He can provide shooting off the bench, and that's a valuable piece. So what's Ben been working on this offseason? The vibe around Ben right now is very positive. Multiple reports say he's entering the season physically and mentally stronger, with coaches noticing more smiles, more confidence, and a clear understanding of his role. Humrichous himself says he's been focused on all-around development, tightening up his shooting, consistency, and decision-making on defense. He's also stepped into a mentor role, especially with Illinois' now new wave of international talent. He said, it's a joy to learn the game through different lenses. I want to help these guys get adjusted and bring energy every day. So what is Ben's role on next year's roster? This year, I think Ben won't be asked to carry that scoring load. I think this year Ben will settle in on the bench as a stretch forward type of role. But the key word with Ben this season is going to be efficiency. Give Illinois 10, 15, 20 minutes a night. Hit your open three-pointers and avoid being a defensive liability. I do expect Brad Underwood and the staff to use him more dynamically, maybe role replace actions, attacking closeouts, maybe even some mismatch post-ops. He's not going to be a star. Ben isn't a star, but he doesn't have to be. He just needs to unlock the spacing, move the ball, and make smart reads and let the scorers do their thing. And here's why you shouldn't sleep on Ben Humrichous. Stat-based models like Bart Torvik love him. When he's on the floor as a shooter with size, Illinois' offensive metrics pop. That's because he stretches defenses. He opens driving lanes for guards and post touches for bigs. He might not stuff the stat sheet, but in the right role, Humrichous becomes a system multiplier. And defensively, he's still a question mark. But with the right lineup around him, you can protect those weaknesses. So where does that all leave us? Ben Humrichous is a guy with something to prove, and I think he's got the tools to prove it. His year one struggles weren't surprising. His return wasn't guaranteed, but there was a segment of the Illini fan base that would be okay if Ben decided not to come back to Illinois. But there was one guy that absolutely wanted him back and made it clear that Ben was welcome back in Champaign. And that guy is the guy in charge, Brad Underwood. And with Ben now deciding he's coming back, Illinois has a chance to turn a good shooter into a great fit. Ben said, it's been a joy, and that mindset, that joy could make all the difference. If Ben can give Illinois just steady shooting, smart spacing, a veteran presence, he could be a sneaky key piece in what I think it could be a top 15 Big Ten title run. Again, I think the key this season is that the expectations are gone. We're not going to have to sit here and listen to Brad Underwood use his hyperbole when he describes all of his players during practice, which he makes you convince are going to be the next superstar. We know what Ben Humrichous is now. And so now that we're not going to expect Ben to be the second best player on the team, or even the third best player, or even the fourth best player on next year's team, Ben can go out there on the court and just do what Ben Humrichous does. And that's just shoot wide open three-pointers. He looked great. I don't know if you guys got to watch the interview that he did last week. If you get a chance, please do. He looks like he's more fit. He's cut some fat. I think he's going to physically be in better shape next season. And so, I mean, let's be honest. You have a summer with Fletch. That's just bound to happen. So I'm very optimistic on what Ben can do. And yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I'm on the show with player profiles and pretty much optimistic on everybody, right? Yeah, that is kind of my nature. But I do think that with the reduced expectations on Ben, that this year, year two, that we can kind of get him to revert to the mean. And even if he comes close to a bounce back season of what he played like 2 seasons ago, I think this is going to be a huge asset for the Illini. And that's why I think I'm higher on the Illini than most. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Me and my group of friends, we like to go to the local driving range, and literally the goal is who can hit it the farthest. That tells you folks that we're not very good at golf, and that's just, there are a lot of machismo going on, but that's just what we do. It's just passing the time getting out of the house. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. And welcome back. Let's switch it up to football a little bit because Illinois fans, I hope you're paying attention, because one of the more dominant edge rushers in all of the Big Ten, if not the country, is back for one final season. Gabe Jacas could have been in the NFL right now. He could be in training camp. He certainly has a resume, the film, the production, but he made a decision that absolutely should fire up everyone in Champaign, and that's that he chose to stay. He chose to return to Illinois for his senior season, and he's coming back not just stronger, but faster, leaner, and more locked in than ever. So let's take a look at Jacas' transformation, his loyalty to the program, and what makes him one of the more exciting NFL prospects Illinois has produced in years. Let's start with what the fans immediately noticed when Gabe Jacas showed up at training camp this summer. He looked different. Jacas once tipped the scales at 280 pounds during winter workout. He's undergone a massive physical transformation, and he's revealed that he's now playing at just 260 pounds, a drop of 20 pounds that was all about explosiveness and versatility. Gabe said, being more explosive, I love playing at this weight. A lot of stress off my joints and stuff, so it's been pretty cool to see myself continuously have gains. It's been pretty fun. At 260, Jacas isn't losing any of that power, but he's adding twitch, agility, and speed off the edge. And we're already seeing the benefits. According to head coach Brad Underwood, Jacas is now part of the exclusive 20 miles per hour club at Illinois, a group of players clocked hitting elite top-end speed during summer conditioning. Obviously, edge rusher is a premier position, Jacas said. Those guys are very explosive. Those guys are fast. Those guys are pretty strong. Just being that weight, that's a position where you've got to be fast. You've got to be explosive. You've got to be able to change directions. It's pretty cool to see myself in that 20 mile per hour club. And let's be clear, this isn't just weight loss. Gabe redesigned his game this offseason. He changed his diet. He adjusted his training regimen. And yes, he even joked that he still allowed himself the occasional indulgence. I dropped about 15 pounds over summer, he said, but I still had a Girl Scout cookie or two. This offseason, Gabe had choices, and not just NFL choices. According to reports, he had plenty of opportunities to transfer to other Power 5 programs. The transfer portal came calling, but he never entered. He never left. I couldn't leave these guys, Gabe said. We built our foundation here. These guys are my family, and they mean everything to me. That loyalty says everything about Gabe Jacas, not just the player, but the person. In an era where players switch teams for NIL deals or playoff chances, Jacas stayed because Illinois is home. It's been special to grow with these guys, he said, reflecting on the bonds he's formed over the past 3 years. So now let's talk production. Gabe isn't just returning with sentiment. He's returning with serious NFL buzz and a track record to back it up. Through 3 seasons, Gabe has already racked up 141 total tackles, 16 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 1 pass deflection. Last year alone, in his breakout junior season, he led the team with 8 sacks. He earned 13 All Big Ten honors. He recorded 74 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, and 44 QB pressures, at least according to PFF. And most importantly, he made those plays when it mattered the most, consistently wrecking opposing offenses in big moments. So what's at stake for Gabe this upcoming year? Let's be real. Everything. If he continues this trajectory, he's going to be a top-tier NFL draft prospect next year. He's already on All-American watch lists, and scouts love his blend of size, speed, and versatility as a hybrid edge defender. He has the production, the frame, the motor, and now he's adding elite agility and explosiveness at a lighter weight. If his sack numbers jump even slightly this season, I think he could easily crack day 2, if not sneak into day 1 conversation in the NFL draft. I genuinely believe that he's that good. Look, Illini fans, this is the last ride for Gabe in the orange and blue. He could have gone pro. He could have chased the bag in the portal, but he chose you. He chose Illinois. His story of loyalty, transformation, and dominance is one every fan should embrace. And like I said, we'll get our first look at the new improved Gabe Jacas on Friday, August 29th, when Illinois kicks off the season against Western Illinois at 6:30 p.m. Central on Peacock. If you're not tuned into what Jacas is doing right now, get there, because this season can absolutely be special. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and suddenly you realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to the first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. My favorite part is you log into the app. I've done it with several Cubs games already this year. You can log into the app, pick a seat, and know exactly where you're sitting. They'll give you a full view. It's fantastic. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Then create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. A couple of news and notes before I let you go. Some of you messaged me after Sunday's episode where I talked about how healthy this Illini team is and saying, hey, Sonny, don't jinx us. And jokingly, I think I might have done just that. J.C. Davis showed up in a walking boot at practice. And also Idaho transfer Aiden Napick also didn't participate in practice, although I don't think those are serious. At least I haven't heard anything like that. I'm sure we'll get an update from the coaches sometime this week. But I did want to mention that I heard you. And you know what? Again, I don't mind. I say it all the time on this channel. Find me on your favorite social media at Locked On Illini or at Talk Illini or at TheSunnyV, or email me at talkillini@gmail.com. I always appreciate the feedback. And I usually have about 2, 3, 4 conversations going on each and every day with this community as I continue to try to make it grow. You know, we're over 300 people in our Discord, which, by the way, the link should be in the description. If you want to talk Illini all day, every day, please join us there, especially now that the season is right around the corner. Things are getting more and more active in the Discord. Another follow-up I had from the episode on Sunday, I did hear back in regards to the 2 players, Mihailo Petrovic and David Humrichous. And as I said, things aren't cleared yet. Okay, now we're getting closer, and I think David Humrichous we should hear sooner rather than later. And even Petrovic, I think it's somewhat approaching the finish line. Again, just a follow-up is essentially they're not fully cleared. Yes, we're not at the point where we know they're going to be on the team next year, but there's not a single concern in my mind right now because, as I've said all offseason long, right? When some of you have been worried about, hey, what's the deal with Mihajlo? What's the deal with Mirkovic? They're deleting things off of social media, et cetera, et cetera. I said, hey, if the staff is not worried, I'm not worried. And that's kind of still where I'm at. It doesn't seem like the staff is too worried right now in regards to both of their futures. And so if that's the case, I'm not going to be very worried either. I wanted to mention a funny story to tell you just how serious Brad Bielema is. Obviously, he was on vacation the week before training camp started, but that doesn't mean he was on vacation. He's always working. I know this because four-star Cameron Wagner, a left tackle who is going to be making an official visit to Illinois at some point. I don't think that he's locked in a date yet. But in a recent interview, he did say that, yes, Illini coach Brad Bielema did call me while on vacation, showing his Cabo house and morning coffee spot. It was a very nice view. And that's going to just about wrap it up for this edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Like I said, we've got so much content for you this week that you might get multiple episodes per day. And if you don't want to miss a thing, please, on your way out, make sure you hit that like button. For me, you're doing me a quick favor. Again, all this information is absolutely free. There's no premium tier here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You might be watching me every single day and not realizing that you're not subscribed. But please trust me, it really helps you support this program and its continued growth as we head into football season. That's all I have for you today. Until next time, ILL. Love you guys.